Hello, everyone. Today is another day for our nation. We had President Trump last week having a phenomenal week. Good news on the North Korean front. He pulled out of the Iranian thing. He opened the embassy in Jerusalem. Everything looks good. Well, today, things are starting to fog up. I have long feared that Kim Jong-un might be playing the typical game North Korea has played for as long as I've been involved in government stuff, which is 50 years, it seems like, or 40. And today, because he says of some war maneuvers in South Korea, he's upset and has stopped his commitment to destroy his nuclear facility that he was going to go ahead and destroy, and that he might pull out, if these joint military exercises keep going, he might pull out of the summit meeting totally. Now, what does that mean? That means that Kim Jong-un has put Trump in a very touchy position. The joint military operations are planned months and months in advance. And it's very difficult if you don't know about how all of these joint exercises are put together. It is almost impossible. President can't just pick up a phone and say, hey, call it off. He just can't. Too much is committed, too much effort's been put into it. You've got thousands of people, equipment. So here we go. Now I wonder, I was told, you're right again, when I was trying to point out that Kim Jong-un might be setting a trap, not to benefit North Korea, but playing along with our mainstream media. The one thing North Korea has learned over the years is how to be reasonably successful at manipulating our media. And so therefore, if he backs out of the summit, then he gets to have egg on Trump's face. The fact that he said he was going to destroy this nuclear site and now he's not, this is the perfect thing for the mainstream media and the Democrats to jump all over in an attempt to destroy any progress Trump has made on the global front. So watch out for this. It's coming. I do believe the joint exercise was at an inopportune time, but you have to understand when they scheduled this joint exercise, no one had ever even heard of the thought of North Korea meeting with President Trump. But folks, if that meeting gets called off, you had better get ready for an assault on President Trump's administration unlike anything you have seen to date. Anything that you have seen to date. Now, there may be some things that can be done to save it. And I believe Trump is the one man that may be able to do it. This is a cycle that North Korea has used for years and years and years, as I told you. Normally, to get us to pay them money when their money has run down, not for the people of North Korea. It doesn't go to them anyway. But when the ruling family, Kim Jong-un or his dad or his grandfather, whenever they got in a situation where they were starting to be in a financial burden, typically what they would do is rattle their sabers. Here we go again. They're building nuclear stuff, test firing rockets, testing this, testing that, with the intention for America and the United Nations to say, look, throw them some money, get them to shut up and quieten down and sit back down. And so that's what we've done. And folks, what that strategy has done through several administrations, not just Obama's, not just Bush, going back to Clinton. Clinton's the one that raised the ante with North Korea. Never forget Clinton. During Clinton's administration, as a part of a deal that they made to get in good with North Korea, the Clinton administration facilitated North Korea getting a nuclear power system. But the problem with that was there's two types of systems that we could give to North Korea. One of them, we could give it to them. They could generate all the power that either system would give, but it could not be, it would not manufacture plutonium rods and be able to create nuclear weapons from. The other one is one that the byproduct literally facilitates North Korea to have the ability to create nuclear weapons. Well, guess which one Clinton gave them? The one that they have today, which allows them to make their own nuclear bombs, if you want to call it that. So you see, this deal's been going on and on and on, and it ain't never worked. They shut up for a little while, then they get back loud again. The greatest example was when we were in the middle of invading Iraq and Afghanistan. There was no attention paid to North Korea, and they got very upset. So they really rattled their sabers. UN paid them money. They shut up and went on. But this is a test of courage for President Trump. I believe, excuse me, I believe that if President Trump follows through with his hard line of not putting up with North Korea developing nuclear weapons, and certainly nuclear weapons in the systems that are required to send rockets into our country, our borders, into the United States, if he will stick to his guns, for the first time, we may have a different outcome than anybody before him. Now, that outcome might be bad. I'm not saying it's guaranteed good. But it is the same thing we've always talked about. Without them to keep doing the same thing over and over, why would you expect any different outcome? So watch this. I warn you, watch the maneuvering now with North Korea. Because I fear, as I feared from the beginning, that this is just another saber-rattling trick to get us to put money into them to get them shut up. Watch how President Trump handles this. But I do want you to beware. If this summit gets called off, you had better be ready for the greatest onslaught against the president in the history of our nation. The media will tear him up. Personally, I believe President Trump can handle it. I believe President Trump can stare down what he called Little Rocket Man. And I believe his aggressiveness can change the dynamic of our relationship with North Korea. to such a degree that we can have peace. But to my knowledge, this Trump staff, Kim Jong-un's staff, they have been working diligently to plan for this meeting and have all of the details and all of the stuff worked out. So by the time they do on the 12th of June meet, if it goes through, the deal will be done. I believe in President Trump. I do. Now, one other quick thing. The Wall Street Journal has released a story of a Russian oligarch who was contacted by 2 FBI agents prior to the 2016 election. And they asked him to substantiate those false things that were going to come out in this dossier. They wanted him to say he verified it. As it turned out, this oligarch had worked with the FBI over and over and over. Matter of fact, he had put up $25 million to get our guy out of Iran, where our government wouldn't do it. And when I think of the things that I hold against Hillary Rodham Clinton, I think about our man in Iran. That this Russian, they had a deal set, and all Hillary had to do was sign this document basically claiming that Iran was doing pretty much what it was supposed to do. It was a nothing. And the man would be home. They had the planes there to pick him up. And she refused to sign it and doomed that man to be in prison in Iran if he's still alive even. But what's significant about the 2 FBI guys going to this Russian oligarch? You need to read the Wall Street Journal story. It's also in the Hill magazine, news magazine, whatever you call it. But here you go. Here we have the FBI, well in advance of any dossier, trying to get somebody to come up with a story that would help substantiate this fake dossier. To the Russians' credit, there was another problem. They wanted to make Trump's campaign manager at the time, they wanted to make it out like he was in cahoots with the Russian government. And guess what? The oligarch guy hated him. He hates, I can't even think of the guy's name now, Trump's campaign guy that's under investigation. He hates him. And even though he hates Trump's campaign guy, he would not sign it. He wouldn't do it. So now, folks, you've got proof that this plot to eliminate President Trump, should he be elected, that this plot to try to damage his campaign was started well in advance. It was maliciously planned out. And when you see the follow-ups to the story in the Hill magazine, when you see the follow-ups, a lot more is going to come very clear. So, folks, I ask you to do this. We are, right now, I'm on a conference call that meets every day, 3 o'clock Central. 3 o'clock Central. And in this conference call, I will do my very best using the sources that I have had for years. And I think my record stands pretty good about telling you what's coming, and then it happens. Well, if you come to our conference call, you will be ahead of everybody else. And I'm not talking about aggregating stories that are out there in the press. I'm talking about giving you the things that you need to know that are coming, hopefully, so we are better prepared to deal with it. Now, I'm going to ask somebody on the conference call to tell what is the site they can go to get this conference line number, Mary Ellen.
Go to ethicscampaign@yahoo.com.
Did y'all get that? It's ethicscampaign@yahoo.com. And remember, our conference call is at 3 o'clock every day, 7 days a week. I'm there for most of it. But I believe if you'll come, the things you will hear, and by the way, these are true things you hear, will get you better prepared to help us try to save this country. So please, once again, Mary Ellen, my voice is so ragged. What is it?
ethicscampaign@yahoo.com.
All right, folks. There it is. Watch for these things. They're coming. Thank you.